Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I was sitting here thinking this evening. I said, uh, behind the blue line retired. What kind of funny stories that I can recall? To get some laughter going and not have so much doom and gloom. But back in the day, way on back there, boy, I worked for a small town city policeman, and I was on night shift. And there was about four of us that worked night shift. So one had some weird hours. He'd work 2 to 2 or something like that. But most of the time, there was always at least three people on duty in certain parts of the town. So got to be about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Everything's quieting down. So there was one of our guys. He found him a little place he'd go take him a nap. And it was in the area where a new neighborhood was being built, and there was homes being built, so it was a cuddy back in a little circle, if you will. So a bunch of us guys, he's back there with our lights off, and we seen him. He was in the patrol car. Boy, he was knocked out. So one of the guys we were watching, the other guy snuck up behind the car, with a floor jack, and just kind of eased it up, just being real quiet and easy. And we were able to get the tires about that far off the ground. We said, okay, let's go. And see, because we all had CB radios back. Back then, they wasn't no such thing as a cell phone, so we couldn't communicate then. But we all had CB radios. And the guy that was asleep had a CB radio in his car. So we looked in his car to see what channel it was on. I said, okay, we got it. So we went down to, there's a place called the Dairy Ranch. Okay, now the officer that was asleep, well, he's no longer in police work now, but he was on the Ritzy part of town, which is on the other side of town, opposite of where the Dairy Ranch was at. So, old boy he said, here we go. Turns on the siren. Roo, 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 roo. He grabbed the CB radio, said, Red Spring will be 10:43 at this time, going down 211 toward 11. Was watching old boy. Say, boy, he woke right up, turned his lights on, put the car in drive mode, and said, whoa, he wasn't moving. I don't matter. So when he found out what he did, boy, what we did, he was mad. Whew. But, it's kind of a way of breaking him from sleeping, when he should be alert. But, boy, I thought that was the funniest thing, man. Oh, almighty, boy, he had that thing flooring it wasn't moving, boy. That was way back when we had the big box Ford Crown Vics and had a couple of Ford LTDs also, way on back. Had the little bubble gum light on top of the patrol car. And another funny situation was my Captain Floyd. He's passed away now. I miss him, man. I love working for that man. I loved it. And Captain had he ran a funeral home, a mortuary, if you will. And a lot of times, he worked the day shift mostly because he done a lot of administrative stuff. He's the captain, so he done that. And a lot of times at night, he would come through late at night with the hearse or with the van, because you went to pick up, go to the hospital or anywhere, Chapel Hill, airport, whatever, pick up a body. I think on this occasion he had to go to the hospital and pick up a body. And a lot of times person that deceased, their bodies, they can, they release gas and fluids and can move, and in certain occasions can sit up, you know. So if you hadn't been around it and you hadn't experienced it, it'll scare the devil out of you. So old Jerry, he was working with us, and Jerry was real timid man, or just easily shaken. Sometimes he didn't like the sight of blood. But Larry got over there and he called the dispatch on the phone. He said, "Man, how about sending some of the boys over there and help me get this body out the van?" I'd help him all the time. It wasn't nothing new to me. So here I go back there, boy, and Jerry was with me. So Floyd was at the end because he had the bar there and he was easing it out of the back of the van. He had a van and a couple of hearses, but that night he had a van, and you had the thing that had the wheels on it. You pulled it off and the wheels would pop down, much like what they do on the EMS unit. So we pulled it out there and got it out there, boy, and that body eased up just like, boy. Jerry took off me, jumped in his patrol car, and hauled tail. Me and Floyd was just laughing, Floyd grabbed the body and just eased it back down, But if you're not used to it, it'll scare the bejesus out of you. So, and I was used to it because I've seen it before. Ain't no big thing, but that was hilarious, man. Things we used to do just to make the time go by during the night. There's an old boy friend of mine. He was an officer down in Maxton. So about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, ain't nothing going on, We would either two of us, we'd get in the car and we'd ease down. And there's a place called Campbell Soup near that area where we knew we'd be at least close to the town where we could reach him on radio, And one of my buddies, he liked to mess with the radio, He'd take the mic and take his hand and tap that button, pop, 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 pop. Make it sound like a helicopter, if you will, So we got down there one night, and he got to hit and he said, "Chopper won the Maxton car." It ain't like that. Oh, no matter. Maxton car said, "Maxton car such, I got you." He said, "You got a school nearby where I can land? I don't know if I got enough fuel or whatever." He said, "The 10-4, we got a middle school." He's like, 10-4 like that. And I said, "I hear you, but I don't see you." He said, 10-4, 10-22 that I think I can make it to Dillon pretty good, or Florence or whatever it was," he said, and he was tapping the button. And I'm in the background trying to hold my breath because I'm laughing my butt off, And we're all buddies, and when the guy found out it was us, boy, he cussed us. Boy, he cussed us for something. But, back then it was a big unit. You all assisted each other, and most of the time you were all on the same channel, Way back then everybody started getting their own repeater channels. So, but boy, funny things, man, funny things. And, when you do that line of work, you see a lot. You see a lot that you don't want to. And I remember one day shift, I think, and Miss Pat was dispatching. God bless her soul. She was a good dispatcher. And a man had called on 911. "I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm ending it." And she heard a bang or whatever. So And the old captain, which was Hamer Lee. Oh boy, man, Hamer Lee was something else. Barney Five, man. I mean, just like Barney Five. Scared that he couldn't stand blood. She told him to get cigarette. How about run over there and check that out? He hung the phone up or whatever. So when he gets over there, the door's open and he sees what he sees. So we don't hear from him anymore. And he walks in the station. Now he's a Native American. He walks in the station where I'm at, and he's white as a ghost. I can't handle that. And I was like, "What's going on, Captain?" So I said, told Miss Pat, I said, "Miss Pat, I'm going to run over there and check." And he said it's something bad. So I go over there and I go in and, of course he unlifed himself, and there's body matter on the ceiling fan and on the wall, and he's laid out in the floor, and I get my crime scene tape out, and, sad, but, Captain couldn't stand that kind of stuff. But, the mess. Speaking about that old Captain, boy, old Crazy Jerry, you remember the old Crazy Jerry I was telling you about with the body sitting up? Well, where the station house was, and you go in the back door and you go to the right. As soon as you go to that right, there's a bathroom on the right. So Jerry went in there one night and he's using the bathroom. He's got the door open. Of all things, but he didn't think anybody was in there. So Hamer eased up behind him and had a little paper sack that had them little, what you call them, M80 firecrackers in it, and he lit it. Boy, Jerry, oh almighty, probably urinated on the wall and everywhere. It was scared him to death. But man, I mean, good old times. This is way back in the rookie days. Because old Hamer, oh almighty, I miss that man, boy. He was my good buddy, man. I liked him, and he liked me, and I really appreciated him. So, he had land he let me set my trailer on, and get started when I moved close to the town over there, and wanted to live close to where I served and everything. So he was a funny guy. He loved his westerns. Now Hamer Lee loved his westerns, and he was a gun collector, and he would collect old-fashioned western revolvers, 44s and 45s, and they were in working condition and they would actually fire. So he had a double western holster. He had it on, and he was in there one night. Had the light on. I was in the bathroom, standing in front of the mirror. That's the funniest thing, boy. I walked right and looked at him, and he's sitting there going, like, doing the quick draw McGraw. And I like the head died. I said, Hamer, what you doing, boy? He was sitting there doing that, but he was a big youngin', man, in a man's body. But laughter, man, laughter gets you by when you think. It really does. I'll try to think of some more funny stories and let you know and catch you on the next one. Y'all like what you see and hear, man, hit like and subscribe, man. I enjoy having you. I'll come back with some more. Y'all have a good one.